Okay, so by looking at the thumbnail and title, you know what we're gonna talk about. This phone right here, it's not from 2025. From one end, in 2025, we saw all flagships launching with a price hike, the RAM crisis. And then there were slim phones, which definitely look stunningly good, but no stereo speakers, single camera, and in fact, 3149 mAh battery. Not to mention it costs 1.2 lakhs. But this one right here, this is the Motorola Edge 70. It's lighter than the iPhone Air, 5000 mAh battery, dual stereo speakers, by far the loudest I've heard, and probably just be around 30,000 rupees. So the question that has to be asked is, how did Motorola pull this off? What's the catch? How is Motorola's service, and is this actually a phone that you would want to use daily? TechWiser, we tested this thing intensively to its limit. This is a very good video, let's effing go. Now technically the Edge 70 is a successor to Edge 60, but the naming of the Edge series has been a bit over the place. If you keep the phone aside, you get some paperwork, a SIM ejector tool, 68-watt fast charger, yes, it's still in the box, and a Type-C to Type-C cable. So good thing is, I'm using a Lenovo laptop. I can easily fast charge my laptop with the same charger. Plus, it can also charge the phone back 85% in just half an hour and takes 40 minutes to charge it to 100%. Also, the Edge 70 supports wireless charging, so that's an upgrade from last time. No case in the box though, so you will have to get one, and everything else that you need is inside the box. Now, before we get to the juicy camera part of this phone, there are 5 interesting things that you need to know. The number one highlight of this phone has to be the build quality and design. When you just see the box, it feels like any other phone. But the moment you open it and take out the phone and you hold it, you have one word: holy shit. The thing is thin and light, is just 5.9 mm thin. For context, the iPhone Air is 5.6 mm thin. And unless you're a jeweler, you won't be able to tell the difference side by side. The phone is thinner than a pencil. Like, you have to actually hold it and put it in your pocket to believe the thinness. Now, one way they trick you is, if you look at the side frame, it is curved slightly. So if you see, the iPhone Air can stand on its own. The frame is full flat. Whereas this just cannot. Because the frame here is curvy, and so that slight curve on the frame makes you feel that the phone is even thinner than it actually is. And the smart thing here is, it comes with a metal frame. This is again an upgrade from last time. But the thinner the phone gets, the chances of breaking it into half is really high. So the metal frame gives it the toughness that it needs. See, I apply all my pressure and it flexes a little bit, but then again goes right back into shape when I leave it. Now, another fear people have with thin phones is that it might break if they sit on it. So let's do a sitting test. Here is the phone. This is a hard wooden bench, and let's just sit on it. It feels weird, but yeah, the phone is alright. Now, the phone is light. It just weighs 159 grams, like even lighter than the iPhone Air, which is about 165 grams. Now, you might say the lower weight is because the iPhone Air has a glass back. This comes with premium textured finish, but the iPhone Air just has one camera. This has multiple camera sensors, plus even a bigger battery. It's just smart engineering and using the latest technology. Now, to add on to that, you get Corning Gorilla Glass 7i on the front. There's military grade certification, so it can take a bit of a fall. And here's the kicker. It's the thinnest phone to have IP68 plus IP69 rating, so if it accidentally just falls in water, all good. Now you get these accents on the camera ring, and plus the extra AI button has different color. This is Pantone bronze green color. There are 2 other colors which have different accents. I mean, even I thought, who has asked for a slim phone? But once you use this, you feel every other phone is heavy. Now, another major problem with slim phones have been battery. The S25 Edge has a 3900 mAh battery. iPhone Air has a 3149 mAh battery. I mean, I use this as a secondary device, and I've always seen this phone only charging. Now, the Edge 70 right here packs in a 5000 mAh battery. How? Silicon carbon battery. Both the S25 Edge or iPhone Air don't use that, and you can pack in more battery if you use silicon carbon. This is good. In our usage, scrolling reels, gaming, watching videos, navigation, it easily lasted one full day. In fact, it's 500 mAh less than last year, but you won't feel that difference in day-to-day life. In fact, I went one step further. We put the phone outside in the afternoon. We recorded a 4K video for more than 1 hour because the battery dies faster once you start using the device. And after an hour of 4K video recording, the temperature difference was just 2.5 degrees and the battery drain was close to 19%. Like, the Delhi weather is cold, but it doesn't overheat. Let us know if you want us to compare this with any other device. We'll try to put it as soon as possible. Now the third thing which is interesting in this phone is this display. If you've used Motorola phones before, you know they love curved display, but this year it's all flat. And honestly, it's a good move. You can easily get scratch guards or screen protectors for flatter panel, plus they are cheaper to replace. So you get a 6.7-inch Extreme AMOLED flat panel, it's a 120Hz refresh rate, and the bezels you see, it's very thin and symmetrical. It looks like an all-screen phone. Now let's talk about brightness. We tested it outdoors in bright daylight. It can go 4500 nits peak brightness. Now Delhi is not the sunniest these days, so I had no problem viewing outdoors. Now indoors, I watched Family Man season 3 on this. The color pop and the speaker quality is on point. And I didn't mind the season 3. I feel people went too harsh on it. It's not that bad. Now you get HDR support on YouTube. On Netflix you can play 1080p, but there's no HDR support. Now more than the display, I enjoyed the speakers. First of all, you get dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos. And I know, how loud is too much loud? Now here's a very practical example. Both of the phones are kept on the other side of the studio. And first I'll call on the Oppo Find X9 Pro. And let's see if you can hear it. We can hear it from here. It's ringing. I can hear it, but the voice is faint. Now let's call Motorola. Can you listen? That's pretty loud. Like, overall, I feel curved displays are now done. Motorola was the last company doing it. Flat displays are the new trend. Now the fourth thing is performance. The processor is a huge upgrade from last year. From Dimensity 7400, you now get a Snapdragon 7 Gen 4. And even the RAM and storage is upgraded. You get 8GB LPDDR5X RAM with 256GB UFS 3.1 storage on the base variant. Now you might ask, what is 7 Gen 4? So this is a 7 series processor, but it performs like a 8 series one. Now we ran Antutu and it scored about 1.4 million. For context, Realme 15 Pro came with Snapdragon 7 Gen 4, same processor. This is a much higher score than that. On Geekbench, it scores good for a mid-range chip. And then in 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme Stress Test, the stability is around 65%. Again, considering a slimmer phone, this is really good numbers. Now we played BGMI on this. You get 120 FPS at smooth graphics. The gameplay was really good. I played Deathmatch for about 40 minutes. Overall, we stressed this phone, but there was no overheating as such. Like for a mid-range phone, this punches way above its weight. The performance this year is a really good upgrade on this one. Now the fifth thing is software, and it has to be the most interesting thing for Motorola in 2025. See, there are new things, and one thing that everyone needs to know about Motorola. First of all, the Edge 70 runs on Hello UI based on Android 16. The instant improvement is animations. Like, it's very subtle at places. Hello UI has come very far in terms of features. You get an app lock, AI wallpaper, lots of features. But that aside, it's 2025, AI is everywhere. So in the latest Hello UI, you get Moto AI 2.0. You can long press this dedicated AI button to launch Moto AI. Now it's one of those crazy phones that has Copilot, Perplexity and Gemini all within one phone. So you can ask Moto AI to remember things for you. One use case I found is, you say catch me up on Moto AI, it summarizes all your notifications and tells you only the important ones. Another thing is, on the app drawer, you can now search within the apps or even search the internet. So let's just say I can ask for India versus South Africa score or gold prices if you can still afford it. There's also Smart Connect 3.0. So now not only you can connect your phone with a laptop, but you can ask Moto AI to open Zomato on PC. Like, boom, done. There's also a universal clipboard where if you copy something on your phone, you can directly paste it on your laptop. You get the Indus App Store pre-installed. This App Store is by PhonePe. I mean, you can disable it, it's fine. But there's also a games folder with some pre-installed games. There's also a bit of bloatware, you can uninstall it. Apart from that, you still get 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates. Now finally, cameras. First of all, it gets a 50 megapixel main camera with OIS. Then there's a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera that also acts as a macro camera. Unlike last year, there's no 3x telephoto, but understandably, a telephoto lens in itself is like about 6.5 mm, which will increase the camera bump quite a lot. Hence, none of the slim phones that you see have a telephoto lens. And on the front, it still continues with the same 50 megapixel selfie camera. Now, we took some photos, and in good daylight conditions, the photos come out crisp. Like, the colors are vibrant, but not too oversaturated, like social media ready. Skin tones look natural. Now we also took some portrait photos. The edge detection is good and the background blur looks realistic. However, at times it messes up objects in the background and doesn't blur them. Now Motorola claims that the main sensor has instant all pixel focus. So basically all the 50 million pixels, the sensor uses it to focus on an object instantly, those fast moving objects. So we tested this. I just passed by the camera while we were continuously hitting that shutter. So yeah, if you're trying to capture your kid, it would work. With the dog, it might get sometimes blurry photos. Now, due to the processor upgrade, it can shoot 4K 60 FPS on all the camera sensors, meaning the main ultra wide as well as the front selfie camera. Now, we were shooting an RC car shot, so there's this mode called Horizon Lock. Now, while shooting the RC car, see how the video looks on the camera viewfinder, but once you are done, the final footage is pretty stable. Do remember that it is only in 1080p, which is fine for shots and reels. Like, all in all, the camera is good for the price. Rest, you get dual SIM support, there's USB-C 2.0, you get all the necessary sensors, including NFC. So this was all about the Motorola Edge 70. Now, what's the conclusion here? Is the Motorola Edge 70 the phone you didn't know you needed? For those who want an ultra slim phone at a lower cost without compromise, and a slim phone which you can use daily, like you don't need to attach a bulky power bank on the back every single time, this is a good option. I like when companies experiment a little bit. Now with all those hardware upgrades, there is also a price upgrade. The phone starts at 29,999 rupees. With offers, it'll come down to 28,999 rupees. It'll go on sale on the 23rd of December on Flipkart. Now people who want a thin, light premium phone which ticks all the boxes and performs like a daily all-rounder, you can consider this. On that note, this is Pri signing off. See you in the next video. Pew pew, 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 pew.